Welcome to News Today with Universal Parks News Today. I'm Eric Morton, and here is the news for January 28th, 2021. Last month, we noticed that Park Services team members began wearing Clean is Universal vests at Universal Orlando Resort. As we visited the parks, we saw this vest in a new form for the Clean team. Mask up. Safety is universal. These white and light blue vests are new for the Clean team. Team members must check them out at the beginning of their shifts and return them at the end of the day. The new vests are required per the Center for Disease Control, CDC. The CDC is now requiring attractions team members to wear the Clean Team vests when they're assigned cleaning positions. This makes it easier to spot who is cleaning the attractions. CDC and leads can check park footage and identify who is supposed to be cleaning and ensure that the team members are cleaning properly. In June 2020, the Bourne Stuntacular opened to guests at Universal Studios Florida. This show is a cutting-edge fusion of stagecraft and film, featuring lots of chase scenes, fist fights, and more, while utilizing live actors, props, and a giant LED screen. When the attraction first opened, physical distancing efforts were being made between rows and parties. Up until now, every other row was blocked off to ensure physical distancing. Now, team members are seating guests at every row, and there is no distancing observed between rows in the theater. As before, parties in the same row still have empty seats separating them. With every row now being used, there is apparently no effort to stagger the parties in alternating rows, which results in people from different parties being seated directly in front of or behind you. The scene we observed is a stark contrast from what we observed back in June, when there was an empty row between guests. With it being a lower crowd weekday, guests being seated in every row resulted in the front 6 rows of the theater being completely empty. Although the physical distancing is no longer happening in the theater itself, distancing markers are still on the floor of the pre-show room, separating parties from one another. Construction crews are adding a menacing detail to the upcoming Jurassic World VelociCoaster. Raptors are currently being installed above the attraction's entrance. Guests will encounter more Raptors on the ride as well. We noticed the Raptors being lowered in by a crane. Once lowered into place, crews work to attach the Raptor to the structure itself. The Raptors are covered in a protective wrap. One Raptor is installed on each side of the attraction entrance now. Once the Raptors were secured, construction workers remained on the roof. Soon after the first Raptor was installed, the second arrived. You can watch our video of the attraction entrance Raptor installation here on our YouTube channel. Some construction walls were removed from the area last month, and overnight, even more construction walls have been removed, revealing some new fauna around the new coaster. The walls that have been removed were to the right of the Burger Digs, so the outdoor seating area has a much nicer view. The walkway is now obviously much wider without the walls. Testing of the Jurassic World VelociCoaster has also continued with actual riders on the attraction at Universal's Islands of Adventure. We learned that the testing was actually for filming. Riders were not wearing masks. This was promotional in nature. Construction workers were still working on other parts of the ride while this was running. This is a good sign that the ride is still on schedule to open this summer. Voodoo Donut in City Walk at the Universal Orlando Resort has recently added a new offering to their menu titled the Charity Donut. This heart-shaped donut features the Universal Orlando Foundation logo and is packed with a lemon-orange Bavarian cream. This yeast shell comes decorated with blue and green icing to create the look of the earth. The Charity Donut is $2.50, but no discounts can be applied because the money is donated to charity. We were told the donuts benefit the Food Bank of Central Florida, so go ahead and treat yourself to help others out. The regional stay-at-home order for Southern California was lifted on January 25th, which lifts restrictions from Disneyland Resort and Universal Studios Hollywood. This action allows all counties statewide to return to the rules and framework of the Blueprint for a Safer Economy and color-coded tiers that indicate which activities and businesses are open based on local case rates and test positivity, the California Department of Public Health said. The majority of the counties are in the strictest or purple tier. The stay-at-home order went into effect on December 7th, at which time all eating and drinking were restricted at Downtown Disney District and Universal City Walk. With the order now lifted, dining can reopen. We may not know exactly when Super Nintendo World will open to the public, but we do know that Universal Studios Japan is itching to go, and they're ready to show off the exciting expansion to the world. As part of this effort, Universal Studios Japan has partnered with JR West, a local railway company, to fully wrap a commuter train in art and characters from Super Nintendo World and the Super Mario series. The new train entered service on January 27th and runs on the JR Umasaki line, which directly serves the Universal City Station, as well as the connecting JR Osaka Loop line, one of the busiest rail lines in the Kansai area. The wrap, unfortunately not decorated inside as well, features a number of popular characters from the franchise, including Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad, Toadette, and Yoshi, of course. A few cars also have imagery of some franchise famous baddies, including Bowser and some of the Koopalings. The train is on an open-ended run around the Osaka area, so there's a good chance you might spot it during your travels. No matter where you are in the world, Universal Studios parks are best known for immersing you into the world of your favorite movies. Attractions completely built on their own stories and characters are usually the purview of Disney, after all, except for one, an indoor coaster at Universal Studios Japan, open off and on for the past decade, Space Fantasy. The ride sends guests on a spinning tour of the solar system on a mission to save the universe. Solar Princess Cosmia informs guests at the beginning that the sun is running out of energy, and it's up to you to repower the sun with stardust, of course. Featuring both controlled and uncontrolled spins, as well as lighting, projection, and fiber optic effects, as well as a gorgeous soundtrack, Space Fantasy, the ride is an experience that simply gets overlooked far too often. Fortunately, you can enjoy it forever right here on our YouTube channel. Check it out. It just went up this week. It looks like a really fun ride. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to universalparksnewstoday.com. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Universal Parks News Today on YouTube for more great content, click that bell for notifications, and make sure to hit select all notifications so you never miss an episode of News Today with Universal Parks News Today. For UPNT, this is Eric Morton saying, the future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one.